Good day everyone. So for this afternoon, we're going to discuss Lesson 1, Edgar Dale's Cone of Experience, taken from Module 5, Theories and Principles in the Use and Design of Technology-Driven Lessons. I am Sarah Jane Antong.
And I am Bayarcal L. So we will discuss all about Lesson 1, which is Edgar Dale's Cone of Experience. The learning outcomes of this lesson is to familiarize with Dale's cones of experience and provide classroom processes or practices that exemplify each the strata of the cone of experience. Second is to provide examples of the various instructional materials appropriate for given instructional context.
So today we will be studying the concept of Edgar Dale's cone of experience. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Who is Edgar Dale?
Edgar Dale, born in 1900 at the dawn of a new millennium, Edgar Dale's work continues to influence educational technologists in the 21st century. While working on the family farm and later as a teacher in a small rural school, Dale earned both his bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of North Dakota partially through correspondence courses. In 1929, he completed a Ph.D. at the University of Chicago, and then joined the Eastman Kodak Company where he collaborated on some of the earliest studies of learning from film. Interestingly, although many of these early studies were experimental ones designed to compare learning from film with other media, Dale later expressed disdain for such studies. Although he traced his ideas back as far as Pestalozzi, who pioneered the concept of learning through activity, and Froebel, who first promoted the principle that children have unique needs and capabilities, Edgar Dale's work was most heavily influenced by John Dewey. Dewey stressed the importance of the continuity of learning experiences from schools into the real world and argued for a greater focus on higher-order outcomes and meaningful learning.
The cone of experience. The cone is a visual analogy, and like all analogies, it does not bear an exact and detailed relationship to the complex elements it represents. It is according to Edgar Dale.
In preparing to become a teacher, there are elements that should be taken into consideration. One way of putting it is the 8 M's of teaching, and each element contributes to ensuring effective instruction. So here are the 8 M's of teaching. So first is milieu, it is the learning environment. Second is matter, the content of learning. Third is method, the teaching and learning activities. Fourth is material, the resources of learning. Fifth is media, the communication system. Sixth is motivation, arousing and sustaining interest in learning. 7 is mastery, internalization of learning. And last is measurement, evidence that learning took place.
With reference to the 8 M's of instruction, one element is media, another is material. These 2 M's, media and material, are actually the elements of the cone of experience. Edgar Dale's cone of experience relates well with various instructional media which form part of the system's approach to instruction. This picture is the Dale cones of experience.
The cone of experience is a visual model that shows a continuum of learning, a pictorial device that represents bands of experience. It does not strictly define the bands to be mutually exclusive but allows the fluid movement across the levels. In fact, the sensory aids may overlap and even blend into one another.
The vision of Dale's cone of experience with percentages as to which band will hone higher order thinking skills and engage learners more may be confusing because it may not necessarily mean that learning better takes place when materials or activities belong to the upper level of the cone, or that the nature of involvement is more active if it is in the bottom. For all the descriptive categorization of learning experiences, other elements such as students' motivation to be engaged and learned have to be factored in as well.
Dale 1969 asserts that the pattern of arrangement of the band's experience is not difficulty but degree of abstraction. The amount of immediate sensory participation that is involved. A still photograph of a tree is not more difficult to understand than dramatization of Hamlet. It is simply in itself a less concrete teaching material than the dramatization. In our teaching, then, we do not always begin with direct experience at the base of the cone. Rather, we begin with the kind of experience that is most appropriate to the needs and abilities of particular learning situation. Then, of course, we vary this experience with many other types of learning activities. Dale 1969 as cited in B. Corpus and P. Lucido 2012.
The band in Dale's cone of experience. We have direct purposeful experience. This refers to foundation of experiencing learning. Using the senses, meaningful knowledge and understanding are established. This experiential learning where one learns by doing. Next, we have contrived experiences. It is in this category that representations such as models, miniatures, or mock-up are used. There are things or events that may be beyond the learner grasp, and so contrive experiences that provide a substitute. Next, we have dramatized experiences. These are commonly used as activities that allow students to actively participate in a reconstructed experience through role-playing or dramatization. Next, we have demonstration. When one decides to show how things are done, a demonstration is the most appropriate experience. It is an actual execution of a procedure or a process. Next, we have study trips. These are actual visits to certain location to observe a situation or a case which may not available inside the classroom.
Next, we have exhibits. These are displays of models such as pictures, artifacts, posters, among others that provide the message or information. Next, we have the elevation and motion pictures. This technology equipment provide a two-dimensional reconstruction of reality. These allow learners to experience the situation being communicated through the mediated tools. Next is still pictures, recordings, and radio. Still are pictures or images. Together in this category are the audio recorded materials or information broadcast through the radio. Next, we have visual symbols. These are more abstract representations of the concept or the information. And lastly, we have verbal symbols. This category appears to be the most abstract because they may not exactly look like the concept or object they represent but are symbols, words, codes, or formula.
In addition, Brunner's three-tiered model of learning points out that every area of knowledge can be presented and learned in three distinct steps. First step is to enactive, which is a series of action. Second, iconic, a series of illustration or icons. And last is symbolic, a series of symbols. With young learners, it is highly recommended that a learner proceed from the inactive to iconic, and lastly to the symbolic.
A young learner would not be rushed to move to immediate abstraction at the highest level without the benefit of a gradual unfolding. However, when the learner is matured and capable to direct his own learning, it may move fluidly across the cone of experience.